What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, hello, my name is Humphrey. I make videos on personal finance and entrepreneurship every week. Today I wanted to make a video covering a topic of productivity, and these are my tips for productivity while working from home. I know that almost everyone watching has been working from home for the past few months because of COVID-19, and I wanted to make this video because whether you're working from home or you're studying from home or you're about to go to school in the fall and you're gonna have some online classes or online homework that you're gonna do, I hope that this video helps because I've been working from home for about 4 years now and I have a lot of experience with staying productive. Back when I started my business in 2017, there was a transitionary time when I was working at a corporate job and then all of a sudden I was working for myself and I had all this newfound time that I wasn't really sure how to utilize properly. I found that being productive in this case was actually really hard because I had no plan of attack and I didn't really have a way to structure my day properly so that I could get the most use out of my time. All of a sudden I had so much more time. I was playing video games for most of the summer and I didn't realize how little work I was actually getting done, and at some point towards the end of the summer I was like, listen, you just got to get going on something. So that's what I did, and I started to become more productive by implementing some of these strategies that I'm going to share with you in this video. So by watching this video, I hope that you learned something from me, and if you are working from home, I hope that you find these tips to be really productive and just increase your overall productivity while working from home. All right, so let's get right into the tips. The first tip I have for you guys is to structure your day. When you're working from home, I find that it's really easy to get carried away doing household tasks like doing the laundry, maybe cleaning the kitchen, doing the dishes, vacuuming the floors, and so on and so forth. What I really found was really helpful in staying productive when working from home was to structure my day in a way where I had 2-hour blocks throughout the day. I like to use these blocks for certain projects and or tasks, and I would also put the higher mental effort tasks in the morning. So that means when I'm the freshest in the morning, I'm going to put the hardest thing that I have to do right in that first block of time. I watched a YouTube video from Kharma Medic the other week. He's basically a medical student in London and he has a lot of tips on productivity, but one of the ways that he actually likes to structure his days are with 2 different blocks of time. Now his blocks are a lot longer. His blocks are 4 hours long and he likes to go from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then he'll take a 2-hour break and then he'll have another block of time from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. His rationale was that he only had to get into the studying mood twice per day, once at 9 a.m. and once at 3 p.m. And I really like that because getting into the mood or getting into the zone of doing work is actually pretty tough. But once you're in the zone, you're in it. And so what he was trying to do was just maximize the time that he was in the zone. I really liked the fact that he was blocking off his days with 2 different blocks, and I do very similar blocks. I use a 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. block, and then a 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. block, and then a 3:30 to 5:30 block. Now some of these blocks are pretty flexible. Sometimes they'll start a little bit earlier or start a little bit later, but in general they're about 2 to 2.5 hours each block. We all have different circadian rhythms and we're going to be productive at different times of day depending on who we are. So I would suggest if you are really productive at night to really schedule a block of time at night to do your work. The next tip I have for you guys is to actually write everything down, and there are a few reasons why I like to write everything down, and there are a few scientific reasons as to why you should write things down. First of all, you just don't forget it. Simply put, whenever I write something down, I have a harder time forgetting it because it's on a piece of paper and I can always just go ahead and reference it. Second is that it frees up your mental space. So whenever you write something down, all of a sudden you don't have to carry it in the back of your mind or the front of your mind or wherever you like to carry it. You just have it on your piece of paper, and then again, frees up mental space. Third, I really like writing things down because when I check them off or I, cross them off, I feel like I'm making a lot of progress throughout the week. And lastly, the other reason why I think it's great to write things down is because when you actually write things down, it helps your brain process everything that's going on. And by writing something down, your brain's not busy remembering whatever you have to do, so it can have more time to just process stuff in the background. So I like to write things down on a notepad. I used to also use something called a productivity journal, but I find that these days I just really like the notepad because I can scribble stuff on it as things come throughout the day. So yeah, my next tip for you guys is to plan stuff ahead. What I like to do is I like to take 10 to 20 minutes on a Sunday night and just write down everything that I need to accomplish for that following week. I find that referencing that list throughout the week is really helpful for me, and I also am able to prioritize my day and my tasks for that day based on the list that I have in front of me. So once I have that list in front of me on Sunday, let's say I wake up on Monday, I take a look at that list and I say, okay, which of these 2 tasks must I get done that day? and those will be my highest priority tasks for Monday, for example. And when it comes to prioritizing tasks, I like to use what's called the ABCDE method. And I read about that method in this book called Get Smart by Brian Tracy. And guys, the method is pretty simple. Basically, you write down all your tasks, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna just assign each task a letter. For your A tasks, these are tasks that you must do. There are serious potential consequences for doing or not doing this task. For the letter B, these are things that you should do, but there are mild consequences for doing or not doing this task, but they're not as important as your A tasks. So these always come a little bit next, and then so on and so forth. C is nice to do, so you don't have to really do these, but there are no consequences if you don't do them. D is for delegate. These are the things that you shouldn't really be doing. You should just outsource them if you can. Lastly, E stands for eliminate. These are things that you just shouldn't even be doing. They're just low value activities. Don't need to be doing them. I find that I generally don't have any E tasks because anything that I write on my notepad for the week is something of value. So I generally don't have an E task, but sometimes I have a D task that I need to delegate off to somebody else. That is the ABCDE method. If you'd like to read more about it, it's in this book. Not sponsored. The other thing I want to bring up about the ABCDE method is I really only use it when I have a large list of items to get through. So if I only have 3 items, I don't really need the ABCDE method, but I find that if I have 10 or 15 items on my to-do list, that the ABCDE method really helps. Gosh, I've been saying ABCDE a lot. I just want to say ABCDEF. Or FEDCBA. Okay, anyway, let's go on to the next tip, which is putting your phone away. This is another thing that I learned from Kharma Medic in that video, which was he actually puts his phone away from his desk so that the physical act of getting up from his desk is gonna prevent him from checking his phone. This is something I've actually done in the past without Kharma Medic, but watching Kharma Medic's video just really made me more aware or more cognizant of how distracting my phone actually is. The average person gets between 46 and 100 notifications per day on their phone, depending on what they have enabled. And these days with TikTok and Instagram, I find myself endlessly scrolling because some of the algorithms there are just so good that they know exactly what you want to see. And every video or everything that you see on Instagram or TikTok is highly curated and highly addictive. So it's gonna make you wanna spend more time on the app. And I find that if I just have that around me while I'm trying to do work, I will not get any work done. It's just a black hole, guys. So what I like to do is I like to do this method. I like to put my phone somewhere else in a different room. I actually like to put it in the living room, which is a little bit further from my room, so I can't even hear the notifications at all. Like sometimes if I get a text message, I can hear the bell even from a different room. So I like to put it so far away that I can't even see it. Then all you have to do when you're working is just simply work. I find that if the phone is not there, the iPad's not there, nothing's there to distract me, guess what? I'm just gonna do some more work. Then it's just all about, can you stay away from Facebook on the desktop or Pinterest on the desktop? But yeah, that's my tip on your phone. Definitely keep it away from you because it is a distraction. And the next tip I have for you guys is on timing yourself. So timers and productivity. A lot of people like to use what's called the Pomodoro technique when doing work. The Pomodoro technique is named after a tomato kitchen timer from the 80s. Yes, I am serious. It used to look like a tomato, and at the top was basically a timer. You would rotate it and it would count down the time. What people do with the Pomodoro technique is they'll set a timer for 25 minutes. And in those 25 minutes, they'll say, okay, I'm gonna be focused and on this task for 25 minutes, no distractions. And then after 25 minutes, I'm gonna take a 5-minute break and then do it all again. And that would be one Pomodoro would be 25 minutes plus the break, 30 minutes. And then do it again, 25, 5. So another 30 minutes. You know what is super surprising about the Pomodoro technique is that you can get a lot done in 25 minutes. It's actually surprising. So you don't have to use the Pomodoro technique. I would suggest starting some sort of timer though, you know, whether it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or something like that, just so that you can stay focused and kind of get into the habit of staying focused while working from home. I will say that I personally am on a 50-minute timer these days. I really enjoy the 50-minute timer, but I like to take a little bit longer of a break. I like to take 10 minutes after a 50-minute break. So technically it's the same as the 25-minute Pomodoro technique, but I find that sometimes in 25 minutes, I'll still have some work left for a certain project or task that I just want to get done. And then I'm just kind of at this kind of impasse, I guess you would call it, where I don't know if I should stop the Pomodoro or just keep working. So I personally use a longer Pomodoro, which is 15 minutes, and that way in my blocks for the day, I'm doing 2 50-minute Pomodoros and 10-minute breaks. Anyways, guys, that was all the tips that I had for today. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, if you got inspired by this video, and I've been also trying to up the quality of my videos, so let me know what you think of that in the comments. Also, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please consider dropping it a like and subscribe to my channel because I post videos here pretty much weekly. Feel free to follow me on Instagram as well. I post there pretty much all the time, and if you want to send me a DM, I'm very responsive. All right, guys, that was it. See you guys in the next one. Peace.